My Hawaiian-style chicken skewers are perfect for your next barbecue or weeknight dinner. I'm Justin from Cooking with Coit. I specialize in clean comfort cooking. And remember, if you love this video, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Let's get started. Let's first go over all the ingredients you need to make this recipe. Chicken, brown sugar, bell peppers, red onion, rice vinegar, garlic, ginger, pineapple juice and pineapple chunks, soy sauce, ketchup, and sesame seed oil. And the one piece of special cooking equipment you're gonna need for this recipe is skewers. So we're first gonna start by cubing the chicken. So the size of chicken pieces that I love for these skewers is just about like this. It's about as cubed as you can possibly make it, maybe about 1 inch by 1 inch. And if you can keep the chicken pieces as consistently thick as possible, that's really gonna help you cook them all as evenly as possible. Next, we're gonna move on to making our delicious marinade. So for that, we're first gonna start with 2 cloves of minced garlic. And one quick note, guys, the full recipe for this recipe and all of my other recipes are on my website. You can find each recipe link in the video description below. Next, we're gonna move on to our ginger. This is 1 inch of ginger, which really in the recipe, I should probably translate that to teaspoons. I would say it's about 1/2 tablespoon's worth. And for this ginger, we are going to be grating it, and that's gonna emulsify the ginger and really give all of those sort of ginger juices and the essence of ginger, letting that out into the marinade, which is going to make the chicken absolutely delicious. And if you want, you could also have grated the garlic too. I just kind of forgot, so I minced it, but grating works great for garlic as well. As I was just grating this ginger, my cameraman Amon and I were just talking about how when you're grating something, that smell really gets into your fingers. So I am very curious. Let me know in the comments below, do you like when your fingers smell like garlic and ginger after you've been cooking a lot, or do you not like it? I think everyone is very different on that one. Next for our sauce, we're gonna be adding our pineapple juice. So just add 1/4 cup of pineapple juice right into a small mixing bowl. Now for the pineapple juice, I am using canned pineapple because I'm gonna be using these pineapple chunks on the skewers as well. It seems like the best idea is just to use the juice from the can, which has worked perfect for me in the past. I know some people be like, oh, it's canned and whatever, it's not fresh. You can use fresh if you want. I'm using canned and it works great. Next, we're gonna add 1/4 cup of soy sauce. For this soy sauce, I am using tamari, which is just gluten-free soy sauce. It really tastes the exact same to me as real soy sauce, so that's what I'm using. You can use regular soy sauce if you wish. Now we need to add a little bit of sweetness into the sauce. The sweetness is such an important element in making a Hawaiian-style chicken skewer, so do not skip this part. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. If you want a healthier sweetener than this, you could definitely use honey as well. Next, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. You can use toasted sesame oil if you want. I'm just using untoasted for now. And of course, we're gonna add our garlic and ginger, which we grated and minced earlier. The next ingredient we need for our sauce is ketchup. We're gonna be adding 1/3 cup. Okay. Now the ketchup is gonna give you a really nice little hit of vinegar in there as well, which is very important for the recipe too. The last ingredient we're gonna add for this marinade is 1 teaspoon of rice vinegar. And now all you have to do is grab a whisk and just give this a nice mix until it's all well combined. And this is how your sauce should be looking right about now. The next thing we're gonna do is to grab out a large Ziploc bag just like this one. You could use a large mixing bowl if you want as well, but I really like a plastic bag and I'm gonna show you why. So grab it out, and then what I like to do is roll over the sides just like this. And essentially we're gonna be turning this plastic bag into a bowl just for a couple minutes while we get our chicken and marinade put into it. So I like to just roll down the sides and then use my fingers to kind of like build out the bottom so that it sits all on its own, just like that. Then we're gonna grab our chicken pieces that we cut earlier, scoop them up and put them right in the bottom here. And then we're gonna take half of this marinade mixture and pour it right on top. It doesn't have to be exactly half. Just about that is probably perfect. We're gonna reserve half of the marinade for later while we're basting the skewers as we're cooking them. But for right now, you just wanna roll up the sides of this Ziploc bag and then try your best to squeeze as much air out of the bag as possible. Just like that. And then all you wanna do is basically just massage the marinade into the chicken just a little bit, flip the bag over, get everything mixed around really nicely. And then we're gonna pop this bag in the refrigerator and let it marinate anywhere between 30 minutes and really up to 4 hours. Totally depends on how much time you have. Now, the reason why I like marinating in a plastic bag is that it just takes up so little space in the refrigerator. My refrigerators are like always filled up with a ton of ingredients and so much stuff going on that I really have to conserve space as much as possible. By using a big, like kind of hard bowl, it's gonna take up a ton more space than a thin plastic bag. So it's completely up to you. If you don't like using the plastic, I totally understand and I get that, then use a bowl. But if you really wanna conserve space, use a plastic bag. With the chicken marinating in the refrigerator, now we're gonna be moving on to prepping our vegetables for the skewers. So let's start with our bell peppers. We're gonna be cutting them into, like cube-sized pieces to really mimic the size and shape of the chicken breast. I really like to have different colors of bell peppers in my skewers. So I chose an orange, a yellow, and a red. You could also throw a green one in there if you want. The taste is completely the same across all of the bell peppers, so it's not really about taste, it's really more just a visual thing. So completely up to you what colors you want to use. The perfect size of bell pepper for these skewers is really gonna be just about like this, probably about 1 inch by 1 inch, just really like the length and width of the chicken. That should be absolutely perfect. With our bell pepper pieces set aside, now we're gonna move on to cutting our onion. We're gonna cut this red onion into the same size pieces that we did for the bell pepper, about 1 inch long. And what you're gonna notice with onion is that really like the outer layer of the skin is gonna give you the biggest pieces to work with. And as the layers get smaller as you work your way in, the pieces are also gonna get smaller. So there's no real perfect way to do this, just do the best you can. But this size piece, just like this, should work out really well with our bell pepper and our chicken. Okay. All right, guys, so now we've finally gotten to the fun part. We are going to be forming our chicken skewers onto the skewer now. But let's first talk about the types of skewers you could use. There's really 2 main groups of skewers you can use. You've got wooden skewers and you've got metal skewers. I really like to use metal skewers. What I like about metal skewers is that they're reusable and they're really strong. Wooden skewers are totally fine too, but there's one tip that you really need to know about if you're gonna be using wooden skewers, and that is you need to soak them in water overnight before you use them. And the reason for that is that the heat of the grill or the pan is going to dry them out so much that they might break while you're cooking if you don't pre-soak them. With the metal skewers that I use, I really like to use a flat skewer as well. I have used round metal skewers in the past, and the problem with that is that when you're turning them in the pan or on the grill, the pieces of the chicken and the vegetables are going to be spinning. And so that's not gonna allow you to be cooking every side equally. So when you turn the skewer, you really want all of the ingredients to turn at the same time. And that is the beauty of the flat skewer, which really allows you to do that. So grab out your first skewer, and then we are going to add 1 piece of bell pepper on the very end, just like that. And then I like to add a piece of chicken next, trying to skewer it right in the middle of the piece of chicken. And then I like to add a piece of red onion, and then some pineapple. And then what I like to do is start the whole process over, add another piece of bell pepper, followed by a piece of chicken, and you really get the idea. You can alternate the protein and veggies and fruit however you like in this recipe, so you don't have to do it exactly as I'm doing it. So now that we've finished our chicken skewers, you'd think I'd be pretty happy because I did such a nice job, yet I completely forgot one big step of this recipe. Forgive me, oh my God, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I got so excited with putting these together. So what you're supposed to do is, before you put the vegetables onto the skewer, you're supposed to toss them with some olive oil in a mixing bowl and add a little salt and pepper. Now, this doesn't make the biggest difference in flavor on these veggies, but it does help and it allows them to crisp up kind of nicely in the pan or on the barbecue. So just stick to the recipe I have on my website. I am so sorry I missed that part. I'm really annoyed with myself, but we're gonna just move on because these skewers are ready to go and I'm hungry, so I really wanna eat them. All right, so now we are going to be cooking our skewers. You have a couple options as to how you wanna do this. You could, of course, and I think this is the best way, is to go outside and do it on your grill, whether it's a propane grill or whether it's a charcoal, whichever one you have, that's totally great. And really, those are the best cooking tools for this recipe. Now, since I'm making this video for you guys, I do not wanna be outside. It is like 95 degrees outside. and it's a little humid and the light is really rough. So I'm going to be cooking these skewers inside on my portable burner here. I'm gonna be using a grill pan. And I really love this pan because it's cast iron and it also has these really nice grill lines which will emulate those really beautiful grill marks on your food, but doing it inside so it gives you a little bit more control and it gets you out of the heat. So grab out your first skewer and we're just gonna put these right across here just like this. Now normally you would buy skewers that were probably 12 to 14 inches long, because when you're cooking on the grill, you don't want to have your hand way over on the grill, which will give yourself more of a chance of burning. These skewers are only about 6 to 7 inches long, and I bought them to use specifically in this grill pan. But if you're cooking on a grill outside, buy the longer skewers. They're really going to be better for that. We're going to cook these skewers anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes in total, but we're going to be turning them about every 4 to 5 minutes. All right guys, so it's been about 3 minutes and now it is time to start turning our skewers. So I'm grabbing out this really big barbecue glove. Seems a bit extreme, but this is what I have to work with today. You can also use tongs if you want, but I prefer a glove. So let me show you. When you grab out the skewer from the pan, you just want to give it a little bit of turn, just like that, and put it onto the other side. We're going to do that with all of our skewers. So I think by using a barbecue glove like this, it gives me a little bit more control as to what's happening on each skewer, which I think it actually just makes turning the skewers easier. And also you're gonna see, as I was flipping these, did you see how each of the ingredients really held into place and it didn't start to spin? That is the power of the flat skewer. If you're using a round skewer, for sure, all of these ingredients are gonna spin and make it really frustrating to cook everything nice and evenly. So that's why I love a flat skewer. Next, we are going to baste these chicken skewers as we're cooking them. So basically on every turn, I do a little bit of basting. So all you have to do is grab out a brush and just take some of this reserved marinade and just brush it right on top of the skewers, just like that. You don't wanna add too much of this marinade because what it's gonna do is collect at the bottom of the pan and get a little bit charry, a little smoky. So just keep a nice light coat on all the skewers as you're cooking them. All right guys, so I've been cooking these about 20 minutes, rotating them every 4 to 5 minutes. I just did my last round of basting, so they are looking absolutely perfect. The chicken is totally cooked through and ready to go. So now I'm gonna take them off the heat. All right, these chicken skewers are looking so incredibly delicious. I cannot wait to give them a try. But before I do, if you love this recipe and you wanna see more just like it, check out my healthy recipes playlist. Okay, let's give it a try. These Hawaiian style chicken skewers come out so incredible. They're the perfect blend of sweet and savory, and I know you're gonna love them. I hope you give them a try. See you in the next video.